What's up, guys, and good morning. My favorite time of the morning, beautiful dawn, 6:40 a.m. Let's go. Ooh, let's go. Hit my numbers yesterday. It was a little bit difficult. I cheated a little bit. In Goosify, I do welcome people, even if it's just a one-word comment. Welcome. Does that really take that much effort? No, but I'll allow it. Coming back into the grind. Um, you want to try to have meaningful comments, but do little comments actually matter? Yes, they do. Sometimes it's more appropriate to have a short comment than a long comment. There's so many ways we could slice up, communication, copy. If I was OCD, sometimes it's appropriate to just respond with a word, nice, or if you're texting your friend or your girlfriend, what's up or what are you doing, where are you, right? We use short phrases in communication all the time. There's a time and a place to have a very fucking detailed, you know, comment, or to open up a question, you know, conversation deepeners. If it was normal, like, I don't know, I feel like I have to take away a lot of the weirdness of like coaching. That's probably what I'll title the video because that sounds funny. It's the weirdness of human interpersonal, communication. The weirdest thing is when you're asking someone like for business and you're not sure if they're interested in you. And so, beginner salespeople or marketers, they're sending a cold, prompt that is a pitch. Like, there are a few industries where this works, such as like I knew people who had a roofing business or something. It's impersonal and it's just a business solicitation, you know, but I don't think that works in coaching, especially in high ticket coaching. So you don't have to worry about it. You don't ever have to like cold message somebody or cold email somebody, you know. It makes sense in some businesses that are like impersonal. Like when I had a moving business, it was totally normal for me to go to every single like furniture store or like thrift store, or like there were like Habitat for Humanity rehome. They had like a bunch of like warehouse kind of supplies that anybody could buy. So it made absolute sense for me to just drop in there and talk to the owner or the managers and see if I could just like leave a flyer. I wanted like posters in every single fucking store, you know. That made sense, and they oftentimes already had people in-house and in-house networks. So you're trying to join their in-house networks. Makes sense for that kind of a business, or if you're like an eyelash or nail tech, then it would make sense to like drop into like salons and like massage places, you know, or like boutique stores, right? Because these are where women go and they're just like small businesses doing business with each other, helping each other out. You know what I mean? So it makes sense for like a small business, or like if you had a food truck, then maybe you drop into like the local, Mexican or Chinese grocery store. Do you know what I'm saying? So there are alliances where it makes more sense, and it can definitely be way less personal. Like that seems like normal. Hey, I've got this food truck, over here on 41st and Congress or whatever, and just wondering if I could give you some coupons, or just trying to put the word out there. Like that's a totally normal thing to do and to say, right? So then why is coaching so fucking awkward for you guys, for people, period? You know, you're worried about how long it takes to get your first sale and make money. And I'm like, bro, you need to be thinking on like 12, 24, 36 month timelines. If you really want to fucking make this happen, this is my third business. Okay. Like, I'm doing everything in my power to get 4 to 6 clients a month right now. But, you know, I think worrying about it and stressing out about it, like, that doesn't really make you more successful. Having a negative fear, pressure, or like feeling like desperate, you know, I don't think that's healthy or conducive for success, you know. Um, you should have plenty of time and money to not have to worry about the pressure of like getting clients. Okay. You should feel confident in yourself. And for me, it was a spiritual thing. I genuinely felt in my soul that like God or the universe wanted me to go into coaching. Do you know what I'm saying? I can run other businesses, right? I'm good at business and I will have many kinds of businesses in my life. I don't have to do coaching. Do you know what I mean? Like, but I oftentimes think about my purpose, right? So if we had AI generated tabs on the video, this is now the next section of the bookmark of the video, but your spiritual purpose, man, like, is this a calling for you? Like, we could all be doing other things. We could all be working other jobs and in different industries. So, why are you called to coaching? You know, I feel like you're called to coaching. It's a person who enjoys like communicating with others. It's a very specific person that wants to build a community and like hang out with people every day, you know? I am like 100 times more active than the average person in my own community, but that's just the way I am. I have a lot of energy and I'm pushing the energy constantly. And I think that's why people go to my group a lot more times throughout the day. Because you know, when you come to my group, you're going to get a burst of energy. And, you know, I try to keep things interesting and fun and dynamic. But you know that at least half the time I'm just going to be talking about driving business. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, um, okay. But yeah, is there a calling to coaching? Like, I was not going to actually go full-time coaching for like another year, but I kept hearing this intuitive message. Like, I download, I meditate, I do Kriya Yoga, which is like a very specific meditation to access your third eye. Your third eye is actually a charging station of prana, or like universal energy, electricity. There are like crystals in your pineal gland. Like, everybody has a pineal gland. So all the weirdos that meditate with like crystals, you know, like I have several kinds of crystals, but you know, it's actually a crystal in your fucking brain. You have like a miniature crystal in your brain, and it tunes into the energy of the universe, like pyramids. You know, pyramids were receiving stations and charging stations, and that's the whole conspiracy of if Earth technology has actually gone backwards, you know, over like 100,000 years. You know, what if human beings really have been around for like millions of years, and, you know, for some reason there was a reset, right? Um, anyways, so it's a charging station, but anyways, I felt this message over and over and over again. Like, they're spamming this message in my brain, like, now is the time to go into coaching, you know, do it on school. You know, I was on Facebook a lot prior to school, and then I just got in trouble with Meta. I got kind of burnt out. I just unfollowed like a ton of people, unfriended like a shit ton of people. I had like 5,000 friends, and then I just like deleted everyone. I would just do weird shit. Like, I was deleting myself because I was not really loving myself, because I was burnt out in my other business. And I just wasn't really that happy, but I was kind of dabbling still. I was not fully committing to coaching and building up a business as a digital marketer, and really committing to like social media and content. Like, I would still vlog, you know. So this is the next chapter of the bookmark, which is, you know, commitment and dabbling with content and social media. So we all kind of like go in and out of this, right? You have your other job, you have a career, you want this to be your full-time thing, but you're not exactly just like plunging in. So I think that the directive does come from the soul. If your soul is saying like you can do it, like not everybody can or will do it, right? I think theoretically anyone could succeed with coaching and content and social and community, but it does take a more social person. It does take someone who's willing to do the work. You have to have a certain personality for this. Like if you don't even have a clear, bright, like headshot photo in your picture, like people are not really gonna like take you seriously, right? Like you have to be like bright and exposed and like, willing to show yourself. And, it's a lot of connection. So not I don't think everybody is called to do it. I think many of us think that it would be fun to do it until you realize that the job is actually an outreach and lead generation job while you're building relationships. That's the only way you're actually going to make money fast enough for this to be a full-time thing. You have to do it, right? So then everybody's like doing it, and then we're all looking at each other. Well, are they making any money? Well, have they gotten their first few clients yet? Like I've already gotten 2 clients in the past. So that's a advantage that I have that most of you guys also don't have. I've already done multiple 4-figure client sales. And that was when I had no idea what I was doing, right? I didn't even have a website. I didn't have a community. I didn't have a school. This was just on Facebook sharing like videos. So, call it beginner's luck or not. I manifested it relatively quickly and I'll do it again, right? I do believe I'll get 4 to 6 clients a month. Probably could even do 10. Imagine having 10 clients though. That's a lot, and then like, would they want to meet each other? Would they want to chat with each other? Would they want to be in a group chat? Maybe I put them into the upsell premium in my group, and then they can be in a network together. But I fully expect to have several clients all paying me my full price, and I'm selling at a higher price than probably most of you guys. But I'm confident in that number. I absolutely delivered on $2,500. That's not enough for me anymore. I've only increased it 500. I think it's worth 5-6K, but 3,000 for me is believable when I'm starting again. Okay, that's not a small amount. That's not a huge amount. There are people selling at 10K. There are people selling at 5-6K. Okay, for me to have built 2 successful businesses to max capacity, both of them in less than a year, one of them immediately, the other one it took about a year for me to get really a lot of business in my second business. And that was me going at like a moderate pace. I was not hitting it as hard as I'm hitting school right now. So one was immediate, one took about, 12 months. And then for high ticket coaching, it took about 2-ish months, I think, to get the first client. But I was not going this hard. So, oh, well then what if you don't get a client in like 2 months or 3 months or whatever? It's like, you gotta stop worrying about that, man. You know? Like if someone is not getting any clients, only getting like 1 client a month, your impression of them. And then if they get the rocket and they get 4 clients or 6 clients in a month. So, you hate on the person who's succeeding quickly, and then you kind of feel better about yourself if the people are not making any money, because then that makes you feel like, well, it's okay, maybe it just takes a while. Do you know what I mean? It's like human beings are honestly quite immature. Those are the subconscious kind of languages. Well, are they making any money? Well, they're only making like 1,000 or 2,000 a month. So like that makes you feel what? Like reassured? Oh, well, good. Like you don't want them to be making money. And then if they're making like 5, 10, 20K coaching, then you just be jealous, right? And salty and bitter because now they have this dream life and they can go travel anywhere in the world, you know? like total time and money freedom, and they're crushing it. And now they're starting to get like, YouTube funnels. The top people on school have massive YouTube funnels. Like, it's crazy how much traffic you can get into a community from a YouTube channel. And YouTube is the number one traffic source for like all of these people, which tells you make a YouTube channel, right? Build a YouTube funnel. So, dude, it's crazy. I'm in this one group, a spirituality group. He's got 80,000 people in the group. From his YouTube channel, he's got like 1.6 million subs. He's got like 600,000 followers on Instagram. So that's massive visibility and traffic. So yeah, that should also be the goal. Oh, and then by the time that you achieve that, then now you're kind of like micro famous, right? And now you're untouchable. So anyways, I mean, they say comparison is the thief of joy. Just run your own race, man. Even if it takes you 6 months or a year, to just get going, find yourself, find your footing. Like, if you go as hard as possible, maybe you can pull it off in 2 to 6 months, right? Like, I don't think you should sell people on like getting clients in a certain amount of time frame necessarily. Like those offers that you see, 10K a month selling high ticket in 30 days. Like, that's a ludicrous claim. Would you guarantee that? I wouldn't. I would not guarantee that. I would not guarantee it at all. Like, a business guarantee is like, well, if you do what I tell you to do, then I'll guarantee it. Okay, I could say your first high ticket client within 6 months or your money back, and then in the contract, it would obviously state like hitting your numbers, a certain amount of days every month, and then all of this can be like manufactured. How do you prove that they hit their numbers? Do you know what I mean? Like, you're going to send me screenshots. Okay, you can send a screenshot of the counter like I do, but that doesn't prove that I actually did that. I'm just saying that I did that. Like, how do you know? You look at their school activity. Well, you see I do have 500 actions for yesterday, and that doesn't even count after 6 p.m. because it resets into the next day. But, I wish that activities was like not just likes and comments, because I don't think a like counts for as much as a comment, But anyways, you can track their activities on school. But if I guarantee that I could help you get a high ticket client within 6 months, if you did what I said and hit your numbers, would that be more of a selling point? If any of you guys are curious or on the fence, if I offered that money back guarantee, would you feel more confident? But it's like, dude, if you really go for it, and you should be able to get a high ticket client within 6 months, you gotta have consistency. I think I'm mostly selling consistency, guys. You see how fucking consistent I am. You gotta be consistent with your outreach. I think that is like 60% of what I'm helping you guys with. The consistency to show up every day, man, and like just be on top of your shit. Like, I still wake up at 6. How do you think I feel when the alarm clock goes off at 6? I'm just like, I feel all the tiredness and the dread. Not every morning. Sometimes I just get up immediately, but you still feel like oh man, I kind of want to go back to sleep, I'll talk about the Mayan time code for a little bit. We're in day 6, yellow seed. So night becomes seed. And, night is like the dream and the abundance, right? The subconscious kind of identity, the attraction field. Well, then the seed is like the next day of that, Still a similar thing of like seeding out your potential, but a totally different flavor of energy. It's a yellow code. So we go from the blue, which is kind of the mystical artist kind of creative energy, into the yellow. Seed is like a soft yellow, but a yellow is kind of like now energizing that potential. So I think seed kind of carries forward that energy of night, which was yesterday. and then adds a little bit of that kind of yellow energy. Andy Frisella is a yellow seed. He's a successful guy, big podcast. And then even Ed Milet, who they are friends, he's also a yellow seed. So, it's seeding out the potential and seeding, it's for me, it's kind of a more gentle kind of momentum of like manifestation. But there's a bit more like energy, yellow, that kind of energy. Okay, now day 6 is, I believe, balancing kind of with your third eye. It's the core expression of who we are. 5, which is like the throat chakra to me, our projection, and then in night code, subconscious projection, abundance projection. Okay, day 6, seed, is like balancing that out with your third eye. I believe the even numbers are more balancing. The odd numbers are more expanding. It's like 6 expanding energies, 6 balancing energies, and then 13 is kind of the transcendence, transcendence day. So 6, 6, and then 1, 13. Balancing seed. You need to go at a comfortable pace that is manageable. You need to, or you should try to think in monthly and quarterly goals. We got to be consistent, man. Even if this takes you 24 months, or 36 months, I hope you just don't give up. Like, people put enormous pressure to get success in the first like month or 2 or 3, and then if it takes longer than that, they burn out or they get pissed and then they give up. And it's like, you weren't committed to this as a calling. If you were committed to this as a calling, you would just think like, whatever it takes, man, 72 months, 6 years, 5, 6 years, like, you'd be committed to the process. This is an identity shift. I am becoming this influential person. You have so much access to people who have like millions of subs on social media. You have access to them in their own communities. Like, school is just bringing together content creators, marketers, and coaches and educators, right? Like, but it allows for a closer proximity to them. You're way closer to a famous YouTuber in their community than you are just like commenting on their video. How else would you even be able to reach them? You have to email influencers like to their special promotional email, and then they have a manager or they themselves, check you out and then see, are you even worth responding to, or is it just a weirdo? So community gives you way closer proximity to people who may be unreachable or maybe in a much higher level of success than we are, So those are the benefits of community, but you just got to stay with it, man. Don't be discouraged if it takes you a while, or if you're just not hitting, results as quickly as you would like. Like 6 weeks ago, I was still in like baby mode. Like, literally, January 14, we had just started the cohort. It was a different name. There was only like 10, 20 people in my group. That's like starting from nothing. When you're starting at nothing, it's just supporting each other. It's brand new people supporting each other. Now a couple of guys are already like about to hit 100 or just hit 100 members. So there are people that are growing even faster than me, but I think the people that join their groups are not as focused as the people that are in my group. I think my group, there is a strong momentum and there is a strong desire to really like become this new person. This new person is influential. This new person is succeeding. This new person is popular on the internet and has a successful community, right? Many of the key supporters in here, we're getting close to our first 100 members, founding members, and that's great. And then we'll expand to 200, 300, 400. One lady has 500 members already. I think she's got the most members. Well, now Jack from Schoolyard's actually in my group, but I don't think he really is in here that much. He's got like 800 members actually, so he's got the biggest group out of everybody here. There are a couple people that have like more than 200 members, but for the most part, if I averaged everyone in this group, probably the average size is like 50, 60 people. Okay, so now we're increasing that to 100, and that's nice. There's the community goal, and then there's the high ticket, income goal, and it's both at the same time. And then there's a third goal, which is a social media influencer kind of score. You know, um, yeah, I think you have to just choose. Like the social media influencers that then come to school, like they've been building their channels for a while, right? So that's their main thing. School is just another layer for them to like congregate their audience. Do you know what I'm saying? And then possibly sell additional things. So I think many of us do not have humongous social media followings, and that's okay because community is more valuable anyways than social media following for coaching because it's a closer proximity. It's a more intimate room. Even when you have a huge size audience, it still feels like a smaller room. Do you know what I mean? And even groups that have 10,000 people may still only have like less than 10% are even active in the group. You got a lot of people that just join and then never even really do anything. So, yeah, anyway, we're seeding out, okay, community growth, social media success. We are trying to get more followers on all the other apps that then join our community or go from our community to our social media apps. So it's not a bad idea to try to like move energy back and forth. Follow me on TikTok, my YouTube, my Instagram, and you can add me on Facebook if you want. It's just another sides of me. I'll probably make a Facebook group. This is not gonna get more than like not even 10% of my attention. These are all like the backup plans. And then you want to have an email list eventually. Some people may do LinkedIn or X, Twitter or Threads. But I'd say that's all very optional. That's pretty much it. Like social media success. Then you have your email list and your native site. They're all just backup plans. Some people just like email, some people like LinkedIn and Twitter, and some people like, forums like Reddit. But I don't think Reddit is that great for coaching and brand because it's anonymous. There's no picture. So I don't actually recommend Reddit. They just want free advice and it's anonymous Q&A. I don't think that's a good branding tool. You're building a personal brand. They need to see your face and your name, and you're building social media success. So I don't recommend Reddit. I think Threads and X, it could work if you enjoy it. If you like being on the platform and if you enjoy organically just like being on there, then yeah, why not? But yeah, anyways, part of this should feel inspiring to you. Like replying to a thread, would I count that as an outbound attempt? No, not really, unless it was ultra specific, like they're trying to get help building a business or a coaching business or get clients, or it's a lifestyle, right? The digital nomad lifestyle is the closest lifestyle to like successful coach. Like the IG kind of nomad kind of coach, like that's a very certain niche that we should all be like tuning into, but it's very much a branding tool, digital nomad, content creator, coach, consultant, community leader. That's the vibe. So, those would be the hotter groups on like Facebook for like digital nomads, especially. Digital nomad probably even more than high ticket coach. But So on Facebook, I will spend a little bit of time looking for that. And then I will try to follow some people on Instagram that are just doing the whole nomad coaching thing. Like that's very much what I'm creating in my life by June, and then that'll make my content like way more interesting. Being in Asia, digital nomad in a foreign country, you know, making content now, like it's so much easier to be inspired when everything's like brand new, exotic, and foreign, and it's like travel. Like that just makes it way easier to make content, and it's exciting. So you may consider, like, what if a part of my dream life or my soul calling was to do the kind of nomad thing? Is any part of that appealing to you? Just traveling around, or like having a van life if you're in Europe, van life Europe is just like so interesting, you know. Um or maybe not because you have children or something, but I don't know, like a freedom and fun to me. These are the things that inspire me. So, anyways, in conclusion, when I'm scrubbing groups, like it's also useful to scrub groups that are also organically interesting to you. It just makes it easier. When you're scrubbing a group, you're just putting yourself out there and introducing yourself to the community. And you're just seeing if anybody is interested in talking to you. Like, to get 1 to like 6 new members a day, which is still the goal, is like if you went to an event and everybody just introduced themselves and you said, "Oh, like I'm building this digital nomad coaching business on School," like maybe 2 or 3 people would be like, "That's very interesting." Do you know what I mean? Like we don't have to like complicate human, interaction either. That's interesting. I'm also interested in that. That's curious. There's a variety of reasons why you go up to somebody at a party and talk to them. A third of the time, or even half the time, might be because you think they're attractive. You know, like a guy or a girl, like it's an attractive personality. It's like someone that you might want to like be around. You know, it doesn't have to be sexually charged, but someone that looks appealing and interesting to be around, you know, is compelling. You just look like a popular, charismatic, handsome guy, you probably have success with the ladies if you're straight, or it's a beautiful girl. Like I'm following this one girl on TikTok. She's got like huge implants and she's like hula hooping cosplay. She is pro top 10 streamers in America, like consistently. I mean, God, they get so many gifts. It's crazy. Like they make so much money from this. And like I don't even understand why people give them so many gifts. Like I think because they're kind of like becoming more famous now. Like that's the desire and the fantasy because they want some of that clout as well. But I mean, Jesus, she got like 500,000 followers on TikTok. She's just cute. Guess what color the energy is? It's always pink. A lot of pink energy. And, they got a huge community. And then you have IG influencers. They have huge communities. Um, like, where do the IG communities hang out? They have their own community kind of thread, but the IG communities, they all network with each other and do collab calls. It's more like behind the scenes community. It could be Facebook or it could be School. The YouTube communities, they mostly just hang out in the comment section, right? YouTube and IG, I think the community is mostly in the comments. So that's an interesting thing to think about as well. Like the comment section is the community for like many of these other apps, YouTube and IG and even TikTok. The community is in the live, the comments. So community is oftentimes in the comment section, guys. So anyways, when you're scrubbing groups, like I want to be more on top of my fitness. So I'm going to join a lot of fitness groups today. Like, I will probably predominantly just scrub fitness groups today. I want to balance out more fitness in my life. So you can scrub groups that also have a goal, right? And you're not necessarily just going in there covertly for a coaching client. Like, that would be awesome because I'm kind of at work right now. I am working. Like, you're a professional networker, you're a professional people person now. This is your job. Your job is to just meet a lot of people. Like, a realtor going to a happy hour, just striking up a conversation with you, it may just seem fun and friendly, but they are also thinking about, like, can this be an affiliate or a future client, or at least refer me to their network? Can I gain access to their network? Do they know anyone who would be worth knowing? It would all just be valuable to me, right? It would all just be like potentially, resonating. Whether they introduce you to people or they pay you directly or indirectly, could be useful. And then besides that, it could just be fun. So I think you got to take the weirdness and the awkwardness and the misery out of connection, you know? Dude, you're just paid to like hang out with people and be fun, okay? What an amazing fucking job and what an amazing life, okay? That's what it really is. It's not I'm this awkward weirdo sales marketing person, high ticket person, always like poaching and spamming. Like, that to me means you don't know how to talk to people. Like, you're not very comfortable with yourself. Do you know what I mean? If you loved yourself and if you loved people, bro, it does not matter to me if you are my client or not. Like, I am approaching you because I think you look interesting, or like you look like a winner, or like you look like a fit dude, you know? I may hire you. I don't know. We're still getting to know each other, right? All the personal trainers who fucking jump down your throat in the DMs. The reason why I don't respond is because you're being weird about it. Stop trying to force a private conversation with me. Like, I want to get to know you in the comments first. If you really wanted me to hire you as a fitness trainer, then you should join my group, because that would be the fastest way to get to know me. And for some reason they won't do that. Why? It's this ego thing. Well, I don't know if I want to join your group, but you can join my group, right? It's this fucking ego thing, man. If you're trying to get clients, it makes sense to join the prospects group. It's not a power dynamic. It does not mean, oh, now we're on equal status, so you won't like hire me because then you think we're like 1-to-1 equals. Like, dude, you got to get over this ego thing, man. Coaching is a personal relationship at a high ticket price, like more than like 1, 2, 3 grand. Dude, it's a very much like it's a higher level of intimacy, guys. The last thing I'll say, what's the difference between selling at 500 and selling at 5,000? It's the level of trust and intimacy. It's a connection. It's an intimate connection. It does not have to be sexual, but it is intimate. You're getting to know each other, right? Like, you're confiding your details in them. Like, you're sharing things with them. Like, you're sharing a deep part of yourself that's like struggling or like really wants personal support. Coaching is just intensive one-on-one support. It's a really personal thing. Okay? So the people that are drawn to become coaches, like, they want to work with someone on a more personal level. It does not have to be so personal as to like every fucking detail about your life and your childhood and like your last marriage, or why things didn't work out, or like all of your business failures or successes. Like, it does not have to be. But I find that people who hire coaches, even myself, they enjoy working with someone, and it could be fun and it could be exciting. Like, I very much plan on hiring, I'll probably have a fitness coach on payroll my entire life. Like, once I can afford it, I'll probably always have a fitness coach, right? And they may change, and it may be local or it may be online, or I may try both out. But like, I will probably always have a personal trainer on payroll in my life. Like, I value coaching, right? That's the number one thing that would benefit me the most, because it gives me more energy and I'm more consistent at the gym. The second may be a relationship coach or a social media coach. I will probably always be hiring social media coaches and social media agencies as I'm learning how to become more of a social media coach and agency to help me make better content. So it's like, you attract people who see the value and believe in coaching. Like, yeah, I will pay for the relationship, and I'll pay for the skills, and I'll pay for the energy, right? And then kind of like subconsciously, it's because this person spoke to me in a more personal way, in a more special way, and I'm just more curious about this person. I just like this person. I want to see what this person is up to more than I'm interested in other people. It's a special factor. It's like an X factor. It's like a wow factor. I'm friends with quite a few personal trainers, and like I'll look at their groups. Are they really speaking to me? Like, not yet, but maybe. I leave the door open. I'm saying you could convince me, but I don't want you to just like DM me forcefully and awkwardly. That's not how you build trust and relationship with somebody. You build trust and relationship with somebody by being a consistent factor in their life. It's like having a girlfriend or a wife, you know? It's a continuous like relationship. If we're not talking or seeing each other once a week, then at least then the relationship's going to like slow down, right? And then once you're in the dating phase to like are things becoming more serious now, you're merging together with your partner whether or not you say that or realize that. It's a union. If you're married or if you've got a girlfriend or whatever, a partner, like you are becoming each other, right? So I've got a couple love interests on the internet, but like I don't know, like I have no idea. We've not met each other yet. Like I like TikTok girls mostly. Those are my favorite kinds of women, like TikTok kind of like influencers, live streamers, and models, dancers, singers. Maybe the IG influencer chick, but actually I think I just like TikTok girls way more. But okay, so it's like a fantasy relationship. I see you on the live stream. Like, will we actually meet? And then will you even look like what you look like online? I don't use any filters. This is exactly what I look like, you know. Um, or will it feel catfished? So I don't know, but I don't know. There's a part of me that's like in my fantasy, and monkey. Ah, wow, 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 wow. Hi, the little rascal. Ow, wow, 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 wow. Monkey doesn't meow, she says meh, meh, meh. Hello, monkey. Hello, monkey. All right, guys. Hope you have a nice day today. Um, yeah, what I want you to think about today is yes, we are seeding our future. I think the word that comes to my mind today is calling. It's a certain calling. You enjoy working with people. You enjoy being around people. That's why we're here. It's a people business. You are a professional networker. You do not have to be weird and awkward, guys. Like, that's what kills the vibe. Okay? You need to understand human interpersonal dynamics. My midheaven is Libra. Libra is probably the best sign at relationships because it is the sign of partnership and balance. Libra is two sides, right? Balancing out, merging together, working together, collaborating, okay? So, dude, you do not need to ever cold pitch or DM someone. Like, you can if you got extra time and energy and you hit your school numbers. You can to try to get some faster sales, and I probably will do a little bit just so I can show you guys how it's not weird. Like, I can even show you how to make cold DMing someone not weird. That will probably be future content because I think people do want to know, like, how do you talk to people and build relationships, faster when it's more cold? Guys, you do not pitch them. You just like have an interesting conversation with them. A cold DM is no different than just walking up to somebody at a party. That's what you need to understand. It's the exact same context. Or it's like striking up a conversation with someone like totally random in public. Not very many people do that, but like if we were at the gym or if it was a corner store. In Austin, where I live, people here are a lot more chatty and it's much more likely to happen. It's an extroverted city. People are way more open to just random encounters here than, say, like, Houston or something. It's more awkward. But, dude, you just make a comment and you have like a funny, silly expression. If it's at the grocery store and it's like an elderly lady and she wants to flirt with me, could you grab that box for me, honey? And then I do it, and then she wants to start talking to me, like, oh, you're just saying random shit about things like in proximity. You can talk about the product itself, you can talk about the weather, you just random shit. You strike up a conversation with someone at the coffee shop. If I was a girl on girl, it's, oh my god, like I love that jacket. Oh my god, your hair looks so amazing. Women do that, and that does not even have to be like a bisexual, vibe. Girl with a girl, or like, girl with a guy. You're not sure if she's flirting with you or if the guy's advancing on you or not. You know what I mean? Guy with guy. It's like your bro, right? So it's more like gym bro. Like I will. I made friends at the gym. Like one guy, I like to talk to people when they're like making content and streaming. So there was a guy, and this was at a powerlifting gym, you know, um, and yeah, just a bro kind of vibe. He's like shooting content, and I was like, oh, do you post like videos? And because I'm curious, like, are you on TikTok or what? Like, I would naturally be curious because like I'm naturally networking with content creators anyways, right? This is just happening in real life. If you see anyone at the gym recording content, that's very easy to strike up a conversation with them. Like, oh, you make content, I'm just curious, man. Okay, cool. You post on YouTube? How long have you been doing that, Okay. Right, like you're deciding whether or not you want to keep the conversation going or not. I'm a Sagittarius rising. So my rising and midheaven are conducive for this kind of a business. Do you know what I mean? Like what that means is there's a natural skill set from these zodiac signs that I'm channeling. Sagittarius is like expert communicator. Sagittarius can literally talk to a wall for like an hour. Like, Sagittarius will make friends with anybody just because they're bored. like like Sagittarius finds interest and curiosity in anything, everything. Anything can be interesting to a Sag. The opposite is Gemini. Geminis are also very good communicators. They're curious about everything, like it's a natural curiosity. So, air and fire signs are the extroverted signs. They're the most likely to just like have random side conversation with people, Um, for instance, at at the gas station, checking out at the gas station, you know, lady's wearing this shirt that has a very interesting quote on it. I may ask her about it, like, what's that quote about? Do you know what I'm saying? It's not weird. You just like striking up conversations on things that you think are interesting. Do you know what I'm saying? If it's a cute girl at the gym, like there are dating coaches and guys who like pick up girls and that's all they do. Just like it's an awkward kind of hook into a conversation, but it works for them if the girl gives them their phone number or their IG or whatever, or at the club. It's hard to pick up chicks at the club when there's music is really loud, so it's all like non-verbal. It's all like, body language. Seeing if a girl wants to dance with you at a club when it's so loud you can't even talk, that's also interesting. It is completely nonverbal. So what do? You smile and then you just get closer to them. You can tell, like, is her body pulling me in or is her body kind of pushing me away? But girls who are on the dance floor, they kind of don't mind being more, physical. So you can take dance classes, like Latin dance is sensual, right? You're learning how to read somebody's cues, verbally and non-verbally. So This will be an interesting segue for future content, but these are the nuances of fucking like human connection. Like, that's what I'm talking about on day 6 seed. Like, guys, remember, we're just human beings. Why do we talk to strangers? Why do we talk to each other? You know what I mean? Like, dude, the most random fucking places, like a bar, it's easier to talk to people at a bar because they're there to just like hang out. So if it's like a bar and it's like a sports team, I don't even really watch sports, but that's such an easy conversation. Oh, who you guys rooting for? Oh, I don't give a fuck, Me neither, What's up? I don't give a fuck. I'm just here because I'm lonely. Yeah, me too. What are you drinking? You're right. You talk about proximity. What are you drinking? You are also here at the bar. Why? Because we're also probably just bored. Okay. You know, then you strike up a conversation. Okay. At a yoga class, girls are a lot more shy at a yoga class and they never want to feel like hunted, like a predator guy. That's probably like a woman, like a single woman or like a younger woman's like greatest fear, some kind of creepy predator man, that's like a stalker. So I wear pink, right? I wear feminine colors and I talk to them. I'm really good at talking to women because I can speak like a woman. I've done business, most of the time I do business with women. There is a version of me that can talk to like wealthy, kind of older, like white women. In Austin, it's predominantly Caucasian, like 75%. San Antonio's more Latino. Houston, there's a lot more. Houston's very diverse, but a lot more, African American, or they prefer black. But like, dude, I can talk to anybody. I can get along with anybody, right? Um, I'm diverse. I'm half Chinese. I'm half white. So I'm white enough to be white, but I'm Asian enough to be like not white. So I can get along with everybody. It can be an advantage. Um, so when you go into community, you need to think about these social nuances. It's like going to a party. A lot of the comments are like, let's go, like a lot of like influencers and YouTubers. It's that social, universal social, just excitement for life, peppiness. Let's go, oh my God. Or like they do the travel vlogs, they eat food. What's the expression when they eat the food? Oh, so good. Oh my God, so delicious. The nuances of a YouTuber, you see them connecting with everybody at a local restaurant. Oh my God, this is so good. You have to tell me what this is. You know what I mean? Like, dude, it's just excitement for life, guys. Human beings don't have enough excitement in their lives. We're just bored and we're disconnected. We want to have friends, we want to have fun. We want to feel like there is another soul out there that cares about me and or thinks that I'm interesting. Which, like, you need to understand, guys, this is the fundamental fucking day 6 shows us the fundamentals, of reality using our, intuition, the 5 expands into 6. Dude, it's just like that looks interesting. Or what does the quote on your shirt mean? If it's a girl at a gym, oftentimes I manufacture like conversations, like those are really cool shoes. She's either going to respond or not. I like those headphones. She's either going to be like, leave me alone, I'm busy, or I have a boyfriend, or she's going to laugh. You can tell if they're open to talking to you, like pulls the headphones, kind of looking at you like, why are you talking to me? You can tell in those 5 seconds, you can tell. Is the energy opening up or is it closing? When the body language is closing, that means I'm kind of nervous laugh, like, and then like, why are you talking to me? Like they're basically saying like, can you like leave me alone now? That's what they're saying when they're kind of closed off like that. Can you just like leave me alone now? But if the body language is opening up, you know, if it's you literally see it in their body. You see their body like start to open. Like door-to-door sales really taught me a lot about body language. Door-to-door sales is tough, man. You're doing like 4-figure sales in like 30 minutes, okay? You want to learn how to do door-to-door sales. This is cold prospecting to the level of mastery. You're closing like a $5,000 sale in about 30 minutes, and this is a total fucking stranger, okay? And like I was also good at door-to-door sales, but door-to-door sales is miserable. It's a miserable job. You're outside all day, just constantly like invasive, but you learn how to be ethically invasive, I guess, doing door-to-door sales. But, you know, you can tell from their body language. You're just trying to get them to open their body language up. Here's the thing, a flyer, they take it, they look at it. Yeah, we're just here in the area. Like the way that I sell like cold and like in that context is like oh yeah, we're just here in the area, thought I'd stop by. Like it's just casual. It's just like not a big deal. Yeah, whatever. Like that's my Libra energy. We're just here in the area. You might have seen us around. And then you just straight up ask them like, yeah, they're pretty cool, right? Like it's suggestion. This is cool. This is interesting. You want to talk to me, right? Yeah, they're pretty cool, right? Like, have you ever thought about getting one of these or like, are any of these things like interesting to you? That's literally all you have to say to develop the conversation into there. You're literally going into a stranger's house that you don't even know to sell them a like $2,000 to $5,000 product in about 30 minutes, guys. So you don't think cold works? Like it does work. It's just, it can be a little bit more uncomfortable. But if you want faster money, then you may consider doing a bit more cold, you know? And then you go into their house and then like, right? Like how awkward is that? You're going into a total stranger's house. You don't even know who they are in about 20 minutes and then asking for a lot of money, like many times, trying your absolute best to close the sale, and you're expected to do so every day. So yeah, that is a competitive advantage I have. Not that many of you guys have done door-to-door sales or like we're good at it. So you learn the nuances of social language very quickly. Is the body language opening or closing or just neutral? If it's neutral, like you just gonna keep trying, man. So, you can't be afraid to just like message someone. I'll channel my door-to-door salesperson energy when I think about cold damning someone. But it's just like, dude, it's just an invitation. Like, do you want to like talk to me? You know? You'd be surprised. There are people out there that like I would not mind if you talked to me, especially if you were like a cute girl or an interesting guy or like someone that is building. I honestly don't mind talking to you. I'm trying to manifest these conversations happening every day, guys. So you need to imagine I want to have like 10 really interesting conversations a day that are going back and forth. Like we can set a time qualifier on this. I would like to have 10 really interesting conversations a day that last longer than 5 to 10 minutes. That's an interesting goal that I've never actually said like in a while. Like let's manifest that goal. I'd like to have 10 really interesting conversations that go back and forth for at least like 5 to 10 minutes. Because those are the kinds of conversations that will manifest in the coaching calls or collaborative calls. Those are the people that are going to join your community and follow you on social media. Like, do you understand? So we're manifesting different dimensions of like what success means every single day on the Mayan zodiac. It's just a different energy, a different way, a different aspect of life, different way of looking at it. So it's like, bro, think about why you enjoy chatting with strangers. If you don't enjoy chatting with strangers, then this may not be the right opportunity for you, man. It's someone who like literally does enjoy talking to like random people like that. I don't. It's a weird thing. Like, why do you want to talk to me? I don't know. You just seem interesting. I'm bored. I'm lonely and I'm bored. Like, why do you want to talk to me? I don't know. I'll talk to just about anybody, but we'll try to be intentional. And then if the conversation just kind of naturally dies off, then you say, okay, well, it's nice meeting you, man. Hope you have a nice day, right? You learn like the social nuances. That's an outro, right? That's a farewell. The intro, outro, hook, body of the text, you know. Okay, cool. Well, then like either you're going to advance the relationship or not. Before there was internet, okay, well, do you want to be in correspondence, right? This is pre-internet. Are you worth being in correspondence with in the future or not? Okay, well, this is where my office is, like back in the day, like Roman Empire, you know. Well, this is our office, we'll be in correspondence, this is how you can find me, this is how you can get a hold of me. Is if the relationship is worth progressing to the level of correspondence, guys. On social media, the lines are just so blurred, like a 18-year-old. Well, are you on Snapchat? Well, like, what's your IG? That's how younger people flirt with each other. What's your Snapchat? What's your IG? That's like almost like getting their phone number, you know. And then the phone number, you text them, what's up? What are you doing tonight? I'm lonely. Talk to me. Like, I posted in Goosify like lonely again, and then like one girl started messaging me from that. I'm like, I'm not trying to pull women in, but I like to experiment with a variety of posting strategies. That's my kind of like, I'm lonely, talk to me kind of vibe. But, anyways, guys, this is now the longest video, an hour. But, these morning vlogs are meant to just kind of synchronize you with the energy of the day, and it's different ways of thinking about coaching. And we're trying to make this fun, you guys. We're trying to make this interesting and fun. Okay. So, in conclusion, it's not weird. It's totally normal. It's the way that you would meet people, like literally in real life. You got to sometimes think, like, before there was internet, how do we talk to each other? And then think in the most random places where you could meet people, the only places that you go in public where people congregate is businesses or, dining or drinking establishments or like parties, you know. Monkey, you're just a little baby. Huh? You're just a baby kitty. Minnie's an Aries. Aries has like no subconscious filter. Aries just does exactly what it wants to do. That's the thing that you can love about Aries. I'm a Moon and Mercury Aries. There's really no filter in my expression. Like, I just tell you exactly what I'm thinking. That can be liberating, but that can also be intimidating because I'm not going to moderate myself that much. Sometimes I do, but monkey, you're just a little kitty. Does not get enough attention. Or maybe it gets too much attention. Maybe it gets too much attention. Naughty little kitty. All right, guys, that's my video. We're going to be opening up these things. It's the social nuances, man. This is what makes life fun and interesting. Guys, if it's not fun and interesting, you're not going to want to do it. So how do we make hopping into random communities and making content, how do we make that fun and interesting? By remembering all the times that we had fun and we had interesting conversations with people in high school, in college, in real life, at the bar, met this girl at the grocery store. Random chance encounters can be fun, can be awkward. Why is this dude talking to me? I don't know. What do you want, man? Trying to sell me a Bible or like a Jehovah's Witness or something? They want to tell me about Jesus Christ, Latter-day Saints. I think Mormon girls are hot, actually. I love Mormon girls. Utah has some beautiful women. All right, anyways, guys, hope you have a good day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Today, we're going to be talking about these kinds of social themes, social nuances. I'm trying to put some fun and excitement into coaching, into social media, into community. It's really into human connection, guys. It's not rocket science. You just talk about things that are interesting and exciting. You got to create excitement. You got to create virality. You got to create the buzz that you want to experience more in life.